Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 146 is brought to you by Elijah Barron, Gaia Green, and Alpaca Chino, some of our newest Patreon patrons. This week, Nina, Sergio, and I are excited to reveal the new Haken artwork and sharing a statement from the artist. We will be discussing our thoughts on the past summer with New Horizons and the new things coming to the game in September. So to begin, hello Sergio, how are you doing?
Hello, Chuy. I'm doing rather well. I guess I would be doing better if I had an alpaca chino. It sounds kind of fancy.
You know it. That sounds great. And then, hi Nina, how are you doing?
I'm doing good too. To piggyback on top of our cappuccino talk, I had my first pumpkin spice latte of the season earlier.
Oh, already? Wow.
Yeah. I'm ready for the cold weather.
Yes, my favorite thing about this whole stuff, it was like just kind of all over the news where people were like, pumpkin spice is coming early this year. And Jackie was like, why is it coming so early this time around? And I was like, we all just need something to look forward to at this point.
Yeah, desperate times.
These are desperate times. It calls for desperate measures. So
yeah,
it makes sense.
I'm all for it. Bring me pumpkin everything.
Honestly, same. I just love all the autumn things. That's what I need in my life. Luckily, it's starting pretty soon here in Animal Crossing. But before we get too far into that, let's talk a little bit about this new Haken artwork. So this month is going to be a little bit unique compared to previous months. We're going to be sharing some different postcards, and these are going to be of Haken, they're going to be of Castaño, and they're going to be of Keelhaul. So just a bunch of different postcards to look at and enjoy on YouTube at least. We'll have some different options for the podcast little icon on podcast platforms, but yeah, as of right now, I haven't really decided how to use those. But yeah, I guess we all had the artist Jilly. Sorry, I always want to call her Jilly Bean, but her name is Jill. But we had her come over and take some photos of our places, and then she turned them into these really cool postcards, and we're actually getting some of these mailed to us. So we're gonna have a little postcard set afterwards, which is really awesome. I actually wanted more of them because I was like, this is a really awesome thing. And I think Jackie actually wants them too, so I'll have to talk to her about that soon. But yeah, I guess I don't know. Nina, you kind of hopped in for my session when Jill was over, and I guess how did yours go? I didn't hop into either of yours when she was over, but yeah, I guess Nina, you can start by talking about it a bit.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And I was like blown away with how professional Jill was. Like, I, in my head, was thinking, oh, we're going to get some fun pictures taken of our islands, and this will be cute and something different for the podcast. Like, because we usually have like traditional artists who draw our little monthly artworks. But Jill just blew me away. Like she had us pose in different ways. She brought outfits for us. She spent like at least an hour with me on my island, trying out different things and telling me how to pose and where to go. And I mean, I felt like I was getting married or something. It was so much fun. And she just, and then on top of it is giving us the physical postcards, which I had no idea was going to happen either. So, it's like a fun bonus too. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that was my experience too. Like I've done actual like wedding shoots being married and I was just like, "Oh yeah, this takes me back. I feel like you are a photographer right now, just giving me some direction here." And it's really helpful too. And she really goes out of her way to like, she asked us all our favorite villagers and things. So she goes and get some photos of them while they're around. And, she just kind of captures whoever's walking around or goes to their house if they're not out, But yeah, Sergio, how was your photo shoot?
Yeah, it was great too, just over an hour. And yeah, Jill was definitely awesome to work with. She has like the photographer eye. She's always
She
looking at, oh,
does.
that's a great photo, and like, oh, I'll take a photo of this or do this, do that, even if it takes a little while. But she definitely got some awesome views of our island. So yeah, she
Hmm.
definitely has the talent.
Yeah,
I think my favorite
yeah,
part was when she would have us like be running back and forth. Did she
Right.
do this with you guys? And then she'd be
Yeah.
like, "That's it. Keep going. You're doing great." Like it was just the cutest. I had so much fun.
yeah, yeah. Mine, we lucked out with mine because there were actually some shooting stars that night that she
Oh.
came by.
Right.
Like normally, I guess normally, I don't know what time of day I would have gone for a photo shoot like this, but I was just like, oh, you know what? It's nighttime here, and it's kind of cool. It looks pretty fun. At least like the few places I had set up looked pretty nice for that time. So
Hmm.
getting some shooting stars helped for sure. Because at that point, my island was not where it is now, which both of you haven't seen it in a little while. But I'm
Oh,
excited to
Ooh.
reveal a bit more to you pretty
we'll have
soon.
to do a stream and come visit.
Yeah. Also, while we're on this topic, I need to get both of your dream addresses on
Mm,
here, and I want to put them all up in the notes for everyone to, just go and visit our places when they want to.
okay,
Yeah,
I gotta
true.
update mine, but yes.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Mine is like real early stages. It looks like a completely different island than it
Mhm.
is right now. um, but, anyways, I did want to get to Jill's statement about the piece. She said, I would like to thank Chuy, Nina, and Sergio for supporting my art and allowing me to attempt to capture their amazing islands in a single postcard. Pretty much the only traveling any of us can do this year is to each other's islands. This whole postcard project came about from me wanting to make something fun to send to my friends who also played the game. I didn't expect the interest to grow, that others would want me to make retro island postcards of their islands. It's been a lot of fun meeting people and exploring so many unique and beautiful islands. With every commission, I realized my own postcard collection was growing. These postcards are a throwback to the classic Wish You Were Here postcards that we all grew up with. My hope with every postcard I make is that they actually get forwarded to other people. That way, people might have something to look forward to in the mail.
Mm.
Really cute idea for sure, especially now when we need to support the post as much as
That's
possible.
true.
um, but also, yeah, like getting a physical postcard. I think we're each getting 12 bundled with
Oh.
our
Ooh.
initial order. I went ahead and ordered like an extra 100 because I want to use them for other things. But yeah, it's pretty awesome to know that somebody out there is making this really cool physical piece of your island, and it
Hmm.
really takes me back to like your photo book, Sergio, where you just like you had your collection of pictures from New Leaf and you printed them out and then you put it all together into a collection,
Right.
an
Yeah.
album. So yeah, I guess yeah, I don't know what else to say about that, but it's really cool to have something physically Haken,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I love too that Sergio and I have a little cameo in the Haken postcard, so you guys have to
Yeah.
try and find us.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she gave me a lot of different options, actually. I don't know if you both have access to the Drive folder. I can ask her to share it with both of you too, if you want. But I specifically like wanted to pick one that represented also both of you. Like had a little bit of both of you because you both are such a big part of the show and my experience with Animal Crossing this time around. So I thought it was really nice to use that one in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. um, but yeah, I'm really excited about getting these. It's really awesome. And if you all want to, get your own postcards made, Jill does amazing work. I've linked her Instagram and Twitter in the show notes, so be sure to check those out and follow her. She just changed her handles, so they're both Okayama Island on both of those, so you should be able to find that. But like I said, all the information's in the description, and yeah, you can find her there because it's really cool. I'm probably going to reach out again pretty soon just to get some done for Jackie's Island because she's like, Tangerine is really awesome. I have a lot of cool places to do photo shoots.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe you know what? I don't know. I'll ask Jackie if she's okay with um her dream address being in the notes too, but we'll see. Um Anyways, did you both have anything else to say about the artwork?
Oh man. I'm just still so excited. It's so different than what we usually get. So I think it's kind of fun and it opens it up to more artists for months in the future.
Yeah, yeah. It's always fun just to see all the new things we've got going on here. And I'll probably try to share a few more of these throughout social media and everything because she did make us like back to school editions as well because September, a lot of people get back to school. Of course, they're not getting back to school like they normally would this year, but we figured it was a good way to capture it too.
Mhm.
Cool. So let's go ahead and move into some more topics for the show. We've got I guess this is it, kind of. This is the last day of Animal Crossing Summer. For anybody listening to the podcast, it's officially Animal Crossing Autumn at this point. So I thought it'd be nice to take a look back at the summer, kind of how the game went, all the things that happened, how we felt about, just New Horizons in general during this time. So yeah, recap of everything. We got a lot of updates. There was a wave 1, a wave 2, but then there was also just some stuff that was in the base game. So I'm going to start with that. But the base game essentially has some summer DIY recipes which used summer shells to craft. These are some blue conch shells that are on the beach. And then there were the regular bug off and fishing tourney contest. Of course, there was only one fishing tourney because those are spread through the seasons now, one per season.
Mhm.
But the bug off, like they all happen right here during the summer, which is pretty crazy. So we had one every month. There will still be one this month in September, so keep your eye out for that. But outside of that, summer's a big time for that. And then there are loads of bugs and fish during the summer. I don't know how both of you did, but I caught a lot of things.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm almost done with my catalog. It was a huge amount of new bugs and fish.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty close too. I mean, I feel like I'm in the single digits, I think, with
Mhm.
both the bugs and fish at this point, which is I don't know. To some extent, I'm a little sad because I'm like, it's been 5, 6 months now that the game has
Mhm.
been out, and I'm like, there's a lot of stuff that is available in those first 2 seasons. At least
Yeah.
the
Right.
first 2 seasons we got it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess I want to start out with a little conversation about the summer DIY recipes. How did you both do with those? I guess Sergio, did you find a lot of these? I know you specifically don't look them up, but did you feel like there were a lot or not a lot?
Yeah, I feel like maybe not as many as I would have wanted, but I think I got most of them only for because of the fact that I haven't gotten a new one in a very
Mhm.
long time. So yeah, I think I
Mm-hmm.
got most of them.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, I don't tend to look these things up, but at this point, like, it's the end of summer. I don't think I'm gonna get any more at this point.
Right.
So I'm just imagining that I'm at that same spot. I probably got them all, and then I looked them up, and yeah, I think we got them all.
Yeah.
There really weren't that many. I guess how'd you do, Nina?
I'm pretty sure I got them all too, which is crazy because I think I'm still missing spring bamboo recipes. So I, I was
Oh.
really surprised at how like the small amount of number of recipes there were for the summer.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the real difference with summer is just like there was really only one crafting recipe. Like I think back to spring and we had, yes, the young spring bamboo, which was, the predominant. I guess material used during the springtime,
Mhm.
but then you do get the cherry blossoms during that time too,
Hmm.
so that kind of changed it up a little bit. It added a little bit more to the springtime, but
Right.
for summer, it was just like just the summer shells, And I have a closet with way too many of them, probably more than I ever needed, because I think I've crafted all the things. I just kind of like every once in a while I go through my catalog of DIY recipes. And I'm like, oh, I have some recipes for this. I'll just craft it and, have that little satisfying check mark next to it that
Yes.
says you've done this. um, but yeah, like overall, I was like, I don't know. I feel like they could have done a lot more with the summer stuff, especially considering like we got I guess mermaid furniture changes that to some extent, but that's not like necessarily tied to the summer,
Right.
Like I think we're
No.
Right.
gonna keep getting pearls and keep running into Pascal throughout the rest of the year.
Mhm.
Um and then yeah, like there is a bunch of shell furniture that is already there, but that is a lot more than what we got from the recipes, which is a
Right.
bummer because like the ones that we did get, like were the bulk of them just like walls and flooring for your
Yes.
home?
I feel like that was the case. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it seems really weird to go that direction, especially when like the shell wreath is amazing.
It
I love
is.
that
It's the
item.
best
I
one.
think it's so good, And I'm just like, you could have made more of these. Like more. What's going on? Why? Do we only get this really awesome piece? I mean, the other ones I thought were still pretty good, but that one in general is just like, oh yeah, it's worth having
Yeah.
some of these around so I can give my villagers a little shell wreath to celebrate the summer.
And I was really surprised that we didn't get like more beach themed stuff, like to put out on the
Oh.
beach. I mean, um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, like we have the beach ball and the like towels you can lay out on, but I feel like there was some missed opportunities with like fun like toys that could look like they were sticking out of the sand or I don't know
Yeah.
floaties or something.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's just, the beach is a place that was previously inaccessible for us to decorate in
Hmm.
New Leaf, for example. And going into this game, I felt like, oh man, we could literally put anything on the beach. And even at the beginning of the game, it felt like a lot of the items were very beach
Yeah,
oriented.
yeah.
But now, like after going through the summer, I'm like, I'm really surprised they didn't add a lot more to this. Like I feel like
Mhm.
that would have been a bigger thing. But once again, I don't know. I feel like there are going to be some updates that kind of address the furniture situation right now because I think a
Mm.
lot of people are kind of feeling like, oh man, I kind of wish there was some more items in this game.
Yeah.
um, but at the same time, like I do really like that a lot of the items that we are getting in this game have been really refreshed from the previous
Yeah.
games. Like, yeah, I'm gonna miss some of the old series that we had before, but I was at that point where I was like, all right, I've seen these for like 4 games. I don't necessarily need that, so I'm excited for what new stuff they're going to
Yes.
add.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Um, Cool. Yeah. I mean, I just really want to comment on the summer DIY recipes because once I finally looked at that list of them and I was like, oh, I have them all, there aren't that many. It surprised me. Um, so I guess next little topic, the bug off, very prevalent through this season. Sergio, how'd you feel about the bug offs being in the summer?
I think it's good. It makes sense. I do like the fact that they broke off, the bug off is in the summer, and then you also get a fishing tourney like every 3 months or so. It's a nice pace, and having the a bug off every month, 'cause you basically it's coming up, right? And you kind of look forward to it. So yeah, it's been nice. And Flick, of course, Flick is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Nina, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I like that the fishing tourneys are more spread out, and that the bug offs are obviously focused in summer just because there's so many bugs. So I think it's a good balance between the two, and I love the bug off items, and like Sergio said, I love Flick. So I've been having fun with the bug offs.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing with it. Like I really do appreciate the bug off items for sure. Like there are tons of them that I think were just kind of cooler than a lot of the fishing things. I do hope they kind of
Mm.
like introduce some more variety as
Mm.
we go, just because, like, once you've gotten all of those items, it can be tough. Just like, I don't know. In my case, like, I would do the bug off over and over because I was like, all right, just trying to get more spider webs here. And I've pretty much given up, but I think I'll go all out one more time for the September bug off to try to, like, the spider webs are going to be a hot commodity during Halloween, so I gotta be prepared for
You
that.
too.
Yeah.
So I
So
wonder if like next year the fishing tourney and the bug off will have different items.
yeah, I really do wonder because it seems like there's an opportunity to switch things up,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I guess the hard part with that is like, what do we do if these just like never return?
Right.
Like, it feels like it's hard to just get rid of things,
Mhm.
whereas I don't know. I don't know. I guess I just don't know how I would feel about that. But I would want there to be some in between where it's like, oh yeah, this month has these items. This next month has these. So
Mhm.
maybe you just have to wait a year to see those items again and go for them again. But at least there'd be some variety throughout the summer. You
Mhm.
Hmm.
know. Yeah. So I don't know. I think the bug off was fun overall. I like the items a lot. But I know, Sergio, you kind of went a little overboard trying to get those
Yes.
300 points, right? Burnt you out a bit.
Right. It would have been nice to know that, the points add up throughout all the bug offs, kind of
Yeah.
like how we
Hmm.
knew for the fishing tourney. But overall, yeah, I liked it. In Like you said, it would be great if we still get all the items that we can get now, but maybe they add a few more. I think that would be enough to get people to come back next year.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So I guess following that, we had tons of bugs and fish and everything. Sergio, how's your collection looking? Because I'm really interested in yours because, I caved this past summer and I was like, I'm just gonna look up what's available and see if I've got it all. But you've stayed pretty true to just like no guides whatsoever. So I'm interested in how you did.
Yeah, I feel like maybe for the bugs I got a good amount. I definitely know I got a lot of variety of stacks that I was able to catch. But for the fish, I feel like I really hardly ever fished outside the tourney.
Mm.
So I'm pretty certain. I mean, I don't know, but pretty certain that I missed a lot of fish. So yeah, next year I'm going in with a checklist, and it's gonna be a challenge. I'm looking forward to it already.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know. I think that's fun too because it gives you a lot to look forward to pretty quickly, you
Yeah.
know. So like, just already going into next year, you're like, you don't have to hope there's some new stuff there because you have plenty of old
Yeah.
stuff that you can still reach back and get,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Cool. So let's get into these updates. I'll do a recap of both Wave 1 and Wave 2 real fast. But the summer update Wave 1 included swimming and diving, the sea creatures now part of the museum, Pascal and their mermaid furniture, as well as Gullivar and his pirate's booty, right? And then Wave 2, real quickly as well. We got the fireworks festival, which included some head boppers that Isabel gave us, some raffle prizes that Red set up, and then we also got the Dream Suite, and
Mm.
for those of you who don't remember, a way to back up our islands for one. So we got the Island Backup Restoration Service. So let's go through these really quickly. Swimming and diving. How did you both do on those? Are you, I guess, yeah. How do you feel about it as you did it, Nina?
I mean, I'm still loving it. It was definitely missing before, and people were asking about it, and we were surrounded by water and couldn't dive in. So it was like a breath of fresh air when we could finally do that. It took a little longer than I wanted it to, but now that we have it, I'm just so happy still. I go out and try and search for Pascal almost every day, but not every day. And it's so much fun. And the mechanics of it is really nice in this game too.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's pretty cool that you're, using it daily and it's become part of your routine. I guess,
hmm
is that comparable to New Leaf at all, or are you just using this feature a lot more than you did in New Leaf?
I'm using it a lot more daily than in New Leaf. I really liked the diving tours that you could take on the island, like the mini games. So I am
Mm.
missing those. That's the most I would ever play with diving, unless it was like a new month and I was catching new diving creatures.
Hmm.
So yeah, definitely more often using it in New Horizons.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to see, like, just some features that are making a return that you're finding more joy with.
hmm
Yeah. And then Sergio, how did you feel about it?
Very similar. I think I'm like Nina. Like I'm limiting myself to 5 creatures almost every day, not necessarily every day. And if I get Pascal, great. If I don't, there's always tomorrow or the other day. But definitely swimming more often, more days. In New Leaf, it was more of a Sunday thing. Sunday afternoons,
Mm.
just many hours swimming. But now it's a little bit every day. I kind of like it better.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm really glad you're also using it a lot more.
Yeah.
For me, I guess, I don't know, I feel like I'm pretty similar to my New Leaf usage. I think I definitely do it more. It's more like a once a week thing for me. Um, but I don't know, I guess I'm not in a rush to get all of
Mm.
the Pascal stuff, because I
Hmm.
still play like quite a bit after work. I tend to, just get my time in with stuff, and then if I really don't feel like there's anything else I'd rather do, not that I dislike swimming too much, but I like to keep it as a special little treat for myself when I
Oh,
do get to it, you
that's
know?
nice.
Yeah, so I guess my approach to it is like I don't need to do it every day, but just on those days where I'm like, oh, I kind of just want to do something different, break up my usual routine of trying to re-terraform my entire island like I usually do.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, when I'm in that mood, I'll tend to just go and just go for a swim and try to find Pascal. But
Well,
usually right after I find him, I'll head out.
and how are you guys feeling about the mermaid set? Because it's very specific and, very themed. So I wonder how many people are actually using it. Are you guys using it at all?
Not me really, but I guess my feelings of it are that it looks pretty great. I do think it looks really good, and I guess I'm just trying to find my reason for
Mm-hmm.
using it,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel
Mm.
like with my home, I am going to through kind of a remodel with my own space right now and trying to decide what I want it to be. But I am also planning on having maybe 8 other characters, well, 7 other characters that are actually playable. So I
Wow.
keep
Oh.
thinking like, oh, this set might not work for me, but I still really like it and it will work better for this character, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So just because like I'm not using it now, I still think there's a possibility I will want to, depending on the extra character I create.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
Well,
Yeah. And
so
then I guess Sergio,
yeah, Sergio, what about
if you want to
you?
answer that too.
Yeah, I'm not really using it. Not
Mm-hmm.
really. Yeah, I don't have a use for the team, at least not now. But like a lot of things in Animal Crossing, I just like collecting them. Knowing that
Yeah.
I got something new, even if I'm not gonna use it, it's still a great feeling.
Well, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe like that kind of helps you guys not want to have to collect it so quickly. Like, of course, you will collect it,
Mm.
but you're not feeling like stressed to swim every single day because it's a set that you really have to get your hands on. So,
Right.
I wonder if you guys would be swimming differently if it was a set that you needed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely. I feel like there's always going to be a little you're going to have your preference as to
Mm-hmm.
what comes out and what you want and everything. So, yeah, I may not be in a rush for this set, but I know I'm going to be in a rush pretty soon for the upcoming autumn sets
Yeah.
that are coming out. So, that'll be a different story for me. We'll have to talk about that next week
Okay.
once we've finally tried this out. Um, but yeah, no, I totally get that. And I don't know, to some extent, it's nice for people. I guess it's nice in both ways. For the people who like really want it, it gives them something to like really work toward. And
Mm-hmm.
then all of these new little toys that they can display and use around their home.
Yeah.
And then for me, it gives me something nice to kind of like break up my routine in a different way
Yeah,
where I'm
yeah,
like, oh, cool. I haven't quite collected this, but I am kind of a completionist. So I'm going to. I just don't have to do it now. But when I do, it's nice. It's just a nice
yes,
little palate cleanser for me.
Cool.
nice.
Um, yeah. And I guess we've talked about swimming and diving a lot, but we need to talk about the sea creatures too. Specifically, I want to say like the sea creatures are awesome, and they were definitely like they made the museum planned to eventually add them. And it feels, I know this is like a point of contention with a lot of people looking at the game right now where they're like, why isn't this in the base game? Why didn't it have this from the get-go? And to some extent, they're like, oh, I've already run out of things to do. But I don't know. I would argue that, like, if you're out of things to do right after they put in this update, like, how substantial was it? Like, how is the
Mm.
boredom due to how much content is in the game, or is the boredom kind of due to, like, there's not the same appeal to what you're doing now, you know?
Mm.
Um, because for us, like, well, maybe I can speak for all of us, but at least to me, I feel like the fun in the game really is like the routine of it,
Mm-hmm.
the daily aspect to it, where it's like I can go in for a little while and have my fun and then leave. Like, I don't necessarily need 8 hours a day of stuff to do, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I guess that's my general comment with the sea creatures is that like they were added, and I feel like some people went and tried out the update and they're like, oh, this wasn't that great. So like, how beneficial was it for it not to be in the base game versus it being up an update later? You know?
Mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, and I'm still kind of thinking of it as healthy gatekeeping for me. Like, how long ago would I have caught that whole month's worth of diving creatures if they had given us everything ahead of time? So, like I've said in past episodes, I enjoy that they're kind of holding back a little bit on stuff that should have been in the base game because it's just more stuff for me to do later.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with that too. Like there's a lot less I don't know, there's a lot less that you don't get to experience this way.
Hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is you can do a lot of things in this game, and it's really just up to how you kind of focus your time. And when things are updated the way they are, like you just kind of have the opportunity to take something in at its fullest capacity.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Where you don't necessarily need to have this all in front of you at once because part of this game is like it is real time, and that as much as people, well, I guess as much as they lessen the punishments for not playing every day, it's still, I feel like they're still trying to teach people like, yeah, I mean the stuff wasn't in there from the very beginning, but it's in there now, and it's really up to you to choose whether you want it to be a big part of your game or not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a lot. It's a big game for sure, but we've got tons more to talk about. So Pascal, the mermaid furniture, we've kind of covered that. Gullivar. Sorry, I always think of Sergio and his Gullivar. um, But Gullivar is here, and I know, Nina, you mentioned at the very beginning where you were kind of getting tired of your pirate theme island. You were ready to start working on a second island a little bit
Ooh.
more,
Hmm.
but the Gullivar stuff kind of refreshed it for you a bit. I guess, has that held true? Are you still actively hoping that you have Gullivar showing up and adding that pirate aesthetic to your island?
Oh yeah. And he comes so infrequently that it's really making me, just want him to come even more often. So this has, kind of been a lifesaver for my little island. Not that I'd ever destroy, but maybe I would like try and start new sections over again. But no, now I'm all in again and I'm still waiting for Gullivar.
That's awesome. So, how many times have you run into him?
Not many, like maybe 3 times for me. Though luckily some people have been sending me some of their extra pirate stuff, so that's been nice, but still not enough to satisfy.
Yeah, let me tell you, having a second character on my island and just knowing I'm going to get one extra piece out of this character is beautiful. I did that the other day, and funny enough, the two things I got actually went together very well. I got the pirate's hat and the eye patch, and
Oh.
so I walked around like a
Oh.
pirate the other day because the last time I saw him, he gave me the pirate outfit. So I'm decked
Gosh,
out at this point.
so
Nice.
jealous.
Yeah. Though, I mean, like, I'm also a little bit sad because of getting the clothing, and I really want a lot of the items, you know? Like, I haven't looked them up
Hmm.
really. Somebody sent me one of the barrels with the crossbones on it, and I was like, yep, I need some of these items.
Yeah.
And I've seen there's two of those barrels. There's one that's standing upright. I have the upright one, but then
Hmm.
there's also the one on the side with the crossbones too, and I'm just like, yes, please give me those.
And I love the little symbol, the skull and crossbones that they have in game, like on the hat and on the barrels, is the cutest I've ever seen. It's like my new favorite. I need to draw it all over the place.
Yeah, it's adorable. I love it so much. It's just all of these things that they're adding. Like, yeah, maybe I won't get much use of the mermaid stuff quite yet, but the pirate stuff is already making its way to my little secret beach where Red
Nice.
is. So it's nice. Um, all right, so summer update two. We've got the fireworks festival. How'd you both do with that? For me, I went through. I went every week. I made sure to get a head bopper. I even did it last night, even though I already had all of the different head boppers. But I was like, it doesn't hurt to have an extra here. But I also went crazy on the red raffle, and I found out due to some time travelers that all of that stuff from the red raffle shows up in the shop later in
What?
September.
Weird.
Oh.
So it's like I went crazy for nothing and
Even the
I'm like,
balloons
well,
and stuff?
yeah, the balloons, the fireworks, the
What?
sparklers, all of them. I think they appear in the shops from here on out. So
That's crazy.
even if you missed out on the fireworks festival, which I heard a lot of people did, they actually haven't been checking in too much. So there are plenty of people who still have some things to get. But if you missed out, it's right. It's still going to be there. It's still going to be available for you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I made it to one fireworks festival.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
The
Was that
first
just the one
one.
at the very beginning?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Yeah, I
So,
feel bad. I tried to get to one yesterday on Sunday, and it was like 5 o'clock, and I was thinking that, or no, it was 40, and I was thinking it was gonna start at 6, forgetting that it started later. And then when
Uh,
it didn't start at 6, I was like, well, I don't even need this fireworks festival.
yeah. I mean, if it's not gonna go by your schedule, what's the point, you know?
Yeah, so I missed out on the last one.
All right. Well, that's not too bad. I guess Sergio, how many did you make it to?
I guess technically I made it to three, but only the first one was considerable. The other two were more like, yeah, I gotta get at least the head bopper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
this is something I definitely want to do more of next year. It's just been a very hot summer. I haven't really been playing games,
Yeah.
especially at that time of day, especially yeah after 7. So yeah, I missed out, but I kind of did it on purpose, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and I get it too. Like, there's stuff in the fireworks festival that I didn't take enough advantage of. Like, I didn't make any custom designs specifically for it, but I think next time I
Mm.
would really like to do that, you
Me
know?
too.
Yeah, I used kind of the ones that I had that were just random in there, like a lot of the base designs that are in there. And I was like, oh, I mean, this is what I got, so it's what you're gonna get. Um, but yeah, like overall, I would like to do that a lot more for the next one, kind of have like a little better show. But I'll get into why I didn't really take advantage of it quite yet
Mm.
at a later time. Um, but I guess for now, the Dream Suite as well, that was another update. And I'll be honest with you, like I've used it twice so far just to go to a couple islands. But this is the one where I'm like, I really want to start taking advantage of it a lot more. But specifically, like I'd been avoiding it because I'm trying not to get too much in outside influence on how I design my island,
Mm.
you know? Um,
That's true.
which normally seems like the what people would do, like they would use it to get a lot of influence on their island, you know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess for me, I was just like, no, I kind of want to like do my own enclosed ideas for this round because I think I don't know. I like making something and then deleting it right after and going like, no, that didn't work. And I like the and error of that just so I can, make my own discoveries as I play through it and make my stuff. So, Nina, did you use the Dream Suite too much?
No, and I've been meaning to, but I still haven't done any traveling of my own. And I've only updated my town twice, I think. So that's something that I really need to work on in September.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I've only uploaded my town once at this point, and it is a very old version of my town. There are a
Mm.
lot of things that are different right now. Still plenty that's in the works, but yeah, that's one thing for sure. Sergio, I guess how did your usage go?
Pretty much like Nina, I haven't visited anyone, and I've uploaded my town or my island twice. I Yeah, same thing. I want to do a lot of it. I just want to dedicate some time to like collect a lot of dream
Mm-hmm.
addresses and just have them handy, and like it would be great to have a dream every day. So
Yeah.
yeah, I should really get on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both of you, this is your homework for the week. Go to one place, but specifically, I want you to go into the airport while you're visiting.
Okay. I know. You
Oh
I'm not
keep
gonna
yeah,
tell
telling
you
me
yeah,
I
we
any
need
need
anything else.
to.
Yeah, just do that. It's kind of fun.
Okay. Well, like
I
you
mean,
were
it's nothing
saying
big.
earlier, it's a long weekend, so hopefully I'll have time.
ooh,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we should definitely have like a little game night where
Mm-hmm.
we're visiting islands and stuff, and
That would be awesome.
yeah, hang out with people. All right. Finally, the last thing: island backup restoration service. Are both your islands backed up? Mine is.
Mine
yes.
finally is, yes.
Oh, finally. So, did you do it recently?
Yeah, recently I put it off for a while just because
Oh,
I kind of hadn't been playing consistently, and then um when I did try, I tried when I didn't have time and I it was too much to read, so I backed out. I was like, I need to do this when I can pay attention to what I'm
Uh
clicking.
huh.
yeah.
I know. It's definitely the too long didn't read type of thing. um, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're backed up. I think I still have to go through it for Jackie too. So
Mm,
I definitely want her place to get backed up. It's a lot more developed than mine, and I'm just like, I don't want you to lose that. It's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
You did a great job with it. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's a pretty helpful thing. I know a lot of people. It was a big conversation topic for people before the game came out, so it's really nice that it's out. Of course, it is restricted to people with the Nintendo Switch Online service. So
Hmm.
if you're not paying for that, unfortunately, there's no way to back up your island beyond this. So it is a paid feature. Well, I guess an additional paid feature for the game. But if you do, I don't know. It's pretty fun to have internet on Animal Crossing. Not gonna lie, you can send letters to people. You can do all the best friend stuff. You can go to Dream Islands. There's a lot. You can visit
Yeah,
people
yeah.
and have fun with them. So,
Mhm.
I think of a lot of the games, this one's one of the more worth it ones for that service. Cool. So I did have some questions for all of both of you. I guess how did you feel about summer in New Horizons, Sergio? If you want to start.
Sure, and I thought it was very nice. You know, they kept a very consistent stream of updates. Like you said, we had two waves, pretty hefty waves. A lot of new content, even some things that we didn't expect. Like, I don't think a lot of us expected essentially what is a new special character with Gullibar.
Mm.
So that's very nice, and it gives us maybe a glimpse of what they can do in the future. They could really surprise even long-term fans like us, I would say. So very nice update. I don't think the next seasons are gonna be this hefty as far as content goes. Hopefully, but yeah, the summer was very nice. I just wish I had played more because it's just too hot for me.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I thought it was a pretty neat season. Summer traditionally for me, Animal Crossing in general is kind of like bare bones during the summer to
Hmm.
me. Just like there's not as much going on in the summer, but for some reason people just like feel like Animal Crossing is a summer game, but I don't know. I guess it's just what you feel. But outside of that, like I liked getting all sorts of updates. Like you said, it gave us a little bit more of a taste of what like the final version of Animal Crossing is going to be.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect to it. Um, and then I just wish there was just more to craft for the
Mm.
that was season.
Oh yes.
Like the summer shells were they were cool. The things that we could craft with it leaned just a little bit too heavily, like indoor wallpapers and flooring. But I don't know. I want them to use them in a bigger, more substantial way, especially like decorating outside. Like it seems weird that so much of that is restricted to the indoors.
Mm.
Um, but luckily, like I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a lot more surprises with updates in the next year of the game. Like this is just the beginning taste, which feels like it's completing this initial idea for what they were thinking for Animal Crossing. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm I have no doubt that it's gonna get a lot better going forward.
Mm.
So what are your thoughts, Nina?
I mean, I kind of feel the same way about summer. It's not my favorite time in Animal Crossing, just because it does seem bare bones. We did get some really good updates, but there's just not a lot of holidays. I feel like there are a lot of events that repeat, like we said with the bug off and with the fireworks festival. So it's okay if you miss a couple because they're going to happen again. Um, but like while I was looking at our doc and trying to answer this question, I was like, well, what were my favorite events in summer? I was like, well, I really liked the May Day and I really liked the wedding. Oh, but wait, those were spring. So I was having trouble coming up with my favorite summer things. So I don't
hmm
know. I'm just kind of looking forward to fall. Summer was fun, but I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, and I've been telling Jackie this whole time too, like October, November, December, honestly the best months of the year to
Yeah.
play Animal
Yeah.
Crossing.
Yes.
There's just so much going on with
Mhm.
those that I think people are gonna feel like, oh, this is a really full game at this
Yeah.
point.
I
you
am
know.
a little worried
Uh,
about September though, because even you just listing those, you
Oh.
started with October. So I don't
mhm.
know. We'll have to see if they give us anything fun in September, maybe something new. Or
Yeah.
maybe it'll just be a long lead up to October.
Yeah, I mean there is some stuff. We'll get into that a little bit later, but next question, what is something you do differently next summer?
Mm.
And for me, like I wouldn't flatten my island next time.
Oh, really?
uh, I feel like my entire summer has just been spent trying to figure out the shape of my island, and I feel like I was really utilizing a lot of the things that would have been great. Like I think having all of those shell recipes, for example, I'm like, oh, it would have been fun to fill my beaches with this sort of stuff, but I'm they're covered in flowers because I moved all of my flowers so I could reshape this place. So yeah, no, I ran into that a lot. Like the stuff that I would have thought would have been fun to normally play with during the summer, I didn't do, you know. Um, but yeah, I think next summer I'm going to not be in this stage with my island. It's going to be a lot more shaped. I don't plan on really rebooting it entirely from scratch like I did. I mean, not entirely from scratch, but you know what I mean. Like I destroyed a lot. You
Yeah.
both saw that happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, next summer I want to really focus on going like all out with the seasonality of the game, like indoors, outdoors, all of it. Just commit, and I kind of want that to be the case with all the seasons going forward. You know. So yeah, I guess Nina, how do you feel about summer?
Well, I mean, what would I
Or
do?
what?
I was
Yeah,
surprised.
what would you do
What would I
differently?
do differently? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually surprised at your answer because I think that summer is a great time to rebuild an island, especially because there's not too much more going
Oh.
on. Um, I don't think you'd want to do it during all the holidays in the winter and in the fall and spring. You want your cherry blossoms to look nice. So I feel like summer's the perfect time. So I'm thinking next summer I may focus more on getting parts of my island more focused, like kind of I don't know, tighten it up a little bit. I do have some areas
Hmm.
that are a little blank. Um, I started making like some signs for my town this summer. Like I made a little ping pong tournament, which was fun. So I think next summer I might focus more on um, designing and getting my town going again.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you know that's a pretty good point too. Like I would be very upset if I were where my island was at the beginning of summer at the beginning of autumn, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
because like I want it to look like pretty cozy and autumny, you know?
Yeah.
And so now that I'm getting closer to that, it feels nice. And you're right, summer's probably the best time to do it. I just think for me next summer, I'm gonna do it differently. Yeah. So I guess Sergio, what would you do differently?
Well, hopefully I'll have the energy to play more next
Mm.
year, but definitely, even if I don't, I'm gonna, go hit the ground running. Basically, I know what I'm missing. I'm gonna pay more attention to the fireworks festival and especially the bugs and fish that I know I missed. I'm going for those first, so watch
Oh
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's awesome. Cool. So I guess we'll go into this next segment, which is a little bit shorter, but as Nina alluded, like we're going into September, and I kind of started out by listing October, November, and December as the best months and leaving September in the dust right now. But there are some new things coming in September, and this time around, we're going to be talking about both the Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere because we avoided some spoilers for us, unfortunately. So I'm sorry to those Southern Hemisphere listeners who are like, yeah, but like, what's going on here? You know? But now you're heading into spring, and that was the first season we got to experience. So we'll be able to tell you a little bit about that. But let's go ahead and start with the Northern Hemisphere. And we're actually getting an early start to autumn. So we are getting 9 new seasonal DIY recipes, which, they won't come all at once. We'll probably have to be shooting down balloons and everything to get them like
Right.
usual. But these seasonal recipes will use some new crafting materials that are only available, I believe, starting September through December.
Mm.
So the
Cool.
end of the year months is when these will be available for us. Sergio, I don't know if you want to cover your ears as I mention them pretty quickly.
Oh, go ahead. That's fine.
All right, so we're going to be finding acorns and pine cones,
Oh,
which is
Ooh.
so exciting. We haven't had acorns since I think Wild World,
right.
right? I am so excited for these, like unreasonably excited. Like I can see an update being the Cornimer update at this
Oh,
point.
Oh.
A lot of people are worried Tortimer is dead. Maybe he's been dead for a while. But who knows? Maybe he can make a comeback as Cornimer,
Yeah.
back from the
Oh
dead.
my gosh, that would be amazing.
But we're also gonna have pine cones too, which will be completely new. I don't think we've had pine cones in any game so
Mm.
far, and so yeah, both of these things will go towards some of these new recipes that are very autumn themed indeed.
Yeah.
I guess just to give you, the green leaf piles that we get during the spring, which are
Yes.
I think use young spring bamboo.
Mhm.
We're
Yeah.
gonna get some different color leaf piles
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
autumn.
so
So
excited. Oh, and I can't wait to
I
see what the
know.
weeds are gonna look like.
Oh, the weeds look
Oh, true.
amazing. I got a sneak peek early on because I went to like a southern hemisphere island,
Hmm.
but it's gonna a lot of things are gonna change tomorrow and it's gonna be delightful.
Ooh.
um yeah, with that said, there's gonna be, some new fish, new bugs. I didn't write any of them down because I didn't feel like looking at them quite yet. But all that jazz. I
Right.
do believe there are no new sea creatures though, like new diving ones
Oh,
Mm.
for at least in the northern hemisphere. So might be an empty month for swimming, but maybe you could just, focus on getting those Pascal items for the month.
yeah.
But yeah, if I recall correctly, I don't think there were new seasonal, I guess, new September diving creatures.
Mm.
Mhm.
I could be wrong. I might correct that next week. We'll see. um, but I do also want to say, like, a lot of bugs and fish disappear after this month.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, in
if
my
you're
app, it
anything,
says 21 bugs, 5 fish, and 2 diving creatures.
wow.
Wow.
21 bugs.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
is a lot of bugs.
Yeah.
And I mean, that makes me wonder how the September bug off is going to go, just knowing that there's like a lot less bugs to pull from, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's going to be a really different feeling game at this point. But luckily, with new crafting materials to scour the land for and new seasonal DIY recipes, it's going to be really fresh for sure.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I guess historically for me, I just don't like September because it feels like fake autumn. Like everybody starts considering September autumn, and I'm like, no, 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 no. It's still way too hot, and
Yes.
the equinox is, or what is it? The solstice.
Hmm.
Right.
Which one is happening this month? I don't remember.
Equinox.
Yeah, so the equinox, it's not till like the 22nd. It's summer for
Yeah,
most of the
it
month.
is.
It's
Yeah.
fake autumn.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
4
yeah.
diving creatures, by the way. New ones. Sorry. I had
Oh,
to double
okay.
check.
So there
Oh.
are some new ones. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for checking. There's the correction early.
Yeah.
This just in.
um, yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad because I was kind of like worried if, there was going to be no new diving creatures. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I'm like, I don't mind there being like not too many, just so it like gets more spread out during the year. Like I'm already surprised that I have more than half of them, and it's only been a month or so
Mm.
since this update.
Mm.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it is good to know that they're getting updated not too quickly because,
Yeah.
I like to have something to look forward to every month.
Yeah.
It's nice. Um, all right, so I guess I want to ask you both. Oh no, I guess let's talk a little bit about the southern hemisphere.
Yes.
So the southern hemisphere is going into spring. They're going to get a bunch of seasonal recipes too, and these are going to take young spring bamboo and cherry blossoms. So you will have some cherry blossoms during this time. Not immediately. I think you'll still have to wait about a month and a half before they show up, but young spring bamboo will start pretty immediately. If you don't have bamboo on your island, I recommend getting some because
Hmm.
if you're like me, you want a lot of green leaf piles around your island. So I stocked up on young spring bamboo specifically for that because I was like, oh, I need to have piles of leaves everywhere. Like that's the point of this game, right? Have leaves.
Hmm.
That's it.
Well, and going to the islands, like if you get a bamboo island, you're good to
hmm
go. Like that's a great way to get the young spring bamboo.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, like Nook Miles tickets during this time are going to be even more of a hot commodity than they already are. People already go crazy for them trying to find like villagers and everything. But now with that extra bonus benefit of like landing on a bamboo island, that's going to be really nice for people for sure.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess what advice do you both have for players going into spring? Sergio, I guess we'll start with you.
I would say definitely for the Cherry Blossoms event, try to play as much as possible, not only to get the recipes, because those are tough as it is, but also to get the petals. So
Mhm.
definitely either dedicate a lot of your playtime if you can to do your best there, or go in knowing that you're going to be back a year later, because honestly, most likely that's going to be the case. You're going to miss something because it's very limited, but maybe that's a nice thing because it has the next year, challenge.
Yeah, there's always next year.
Mhm.
Well, it's funny because my advice is prepare yourself for disappointment when you're looking for all those
Oh
cherry
man.
blossom recipes, because I don't know if you remember, but like they last for I don't know what 10 days or
Yeah.
Yeah.
something ridiculous like that. Like it is a short amount of time that you have to get all these recipes, so don't expect to get them all.
Yeah.
Unless you're like really gonna dedicate some time to grinding them, and that involves just like waiting on the beach all day, hitting every single balloon you see go by. Luckily, there won't be any bunny day balloons in your way, so maybe that'll make it easier. Because you won't have to deal with any of those. But yeah, it's a hard thing to do, getting all of those recipes. I know they were very sought after
Mhm.
afterwards, just because so many people missed out on a lot of them. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess Nina, what's your advice?
My advice kind of goes along with Sergio's for the Cherry Blossom Festival, where you know, team up with friends. That's what I ended up doing. If you're worried about not getting all of the recipes and you just don't have time to grind and you're really wanting to get them all, team up with a friend and compare your recipes and make them for each other, so that it's less stressful of an event because it's just so beautiful. So I kind of wish I had savored it more because, I just want to sit and look at how pretty everything is. And instead, I was trying to catch all the petals like a mad woman.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So, teaming
Yeah.
up is always good.
Yeah, that's true too. And one thing too is like my summer regret was like not making everything like pretty summer oriented design wise in
Mm,
my island.
mm-hmm.
I do feel like I did take the time to kind of get all of the recipes the first time around. So
Yeah.
now I know that I can just focus on getting the petals and really crafting everything and making my island a lot more cherry blossom themed during that
Yeah.
time, you know?
You
Yeah.
got to
Like it may
savor it.
be yeah, and it may be like a short amount of time, but I feel like, it's nice that I'm going to be able to dedicate more to the actual aspect of enjoying those items rather than just trying to find them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, don't be too worried about, getting them all at once. Just, try to actually enjoy the ones that you do get. But I know you all are just gonna feel like me when it comes down to it and feel
Yeah.
like, oh man, I really got to get these all at once right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get them.
Mhm.
So last little question for both of you: what are you looking forward to in autumn?
Hmm. Everything.
And yeah, I guess Nina, go for it.
Oh
What,
no.
what are you looking forward to?
What am I most looking forward to in autumn? Um gosh, I so today when I logged in, it was August 31st and Isabel was like, we're expecting some cooler weather coming in and I was like,
Hmm.
yes,
Ooh.
please. I'm so excited. And yeah, it was so nice for Isabel to be saying something like of meaning, and I just can't wait for for autumn. I'm going to design lots of spooky clothes. I'm ready for all the mushrooms in November. Like I said, I ordered my first pumpkin spice latte, so I'm ready for Halloween. All of my villagers are going to be getting bats and pumpkin themed everything. I can't wait.
Oh, I can't wait for
Yeah.
pumpkins. Please give us tons of them.
Oh man, if pumpkins were in the update, that would be amazing. Like if we
They've
could
got to
grow
be.
them.
They
Ooh.
have got to be,
Ah,
or
please.
I'm suing.
You're suing.
Yes, I'm suing.
You're chewing.
Yeah, I'm
Chew-
chewing.
Chewing. Oh my gosh. For emotional
um,
trauma.
yeah. All right, Sergio, what are you looking forward to?
On basically anything new, even if it's old new, like
Mm.
features from New Leaf that come back to the mainline series. So anything of that is nice. But for the most part, I'm just looking forward to changes in the scenery. You got me very excited because I know the color of everything is gonna start changing, and
Hmm.
I'm really looking forward to that because if you think about it, if the color of the grass or the trees changes, it's gonna change in 24 different versions in a way because every hour is different and then with different weather it also looks
Oh.
different, so there's a lot of new to look forward to, at least new visuals.
Oh.
Yeah,
And the new weather pattern, isn't there like more fog coming too?
Oh.
I think so. Yeah.
I
Ooh.
can't wait.
So, oh, we're gonna have some really awesome days ahead of us for
Yeah.
sure. My answer to this, just everything. I'm so ready for it to be tomorrow already. Like, I want to start finding the new recipes. I want to start getting the new materials and crafting them all like crazy. And I just love that they introduce more and more throughout the season too. Like,
Mm.
what arrives tomorrow is literally just the beginning of this autumn stuff. Like, I think the bummer with summer, rhyme completely intended, is that there's just there's only really the summer shells, you know? There weren't
Yeah.
any other seasonal recipes or at least crafting materials, but autumn in this game, it's not going to end at the acorns and pine cones. Like, we're still going to find mushrooms for stuff, and there's another one that I'm not going to mention because it's a little bit of a surprise, but I'm so
Oh.
ready for it. Um, but yeah, like, there's a lot of other crafting materials and recipes that I feel like that's what I was missing from summer. Like, there wasn't enough variety, and like even spring introduced, yeah, the young spring bamboo is kind of the most prevalent throughout the season, but even just getting that little break when there were cherry blossoms and stuff, that was wonderful, you
Mm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel
Mm.
like we're going to get that a lot more through the autumn season. So I'm excited for it. It's going to be great.
Can't wait.
um, I know. Can it just be tomorrow right now?
Yeah.
I guess for everybody listening, it's tomorrow already,
That's
so I
true.
hope you're
Oh,
having
yeah.
fun. I'm sure they are, and we will have our fun very soon here. But let's go ahead and close out the show with our Haken's Islander Corner. This week's question for them was, what upcoming holiday are you most looking forward to? So we've asked our patrons this question, and we're going to read some of their answers here. Should we go Sergio, then Nina, then me?
Okay.
Okay. So Sarah Poco said, I love mushrooms and I have decided that November is going to be Shroom Festival on my island. That is the festival I am looking forward to the most. I am for sure getting Golden Slingshot in November as I am so ready to hunt down every single balloon for my mushroom DIYs.
Nice.
Nice.
They're
That's
gonna look
awesome.
so cute.
Yeah, and I am like obsessed with mushrooms. I don't know if y'all saw my New Leaf Island, but I specifically collected the mushrooms just so I could use them as decorations around my place. So I know I'm going to do the same thing in this game. Like, sure, there's going to be a bunch of mushroom stuff that we can craft and everything, but I'm making sure I save plenty of mushrooms just to use for myself, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think
Yeah.
they count against town scores because they occur naturally. So you
Yeah,
just
that's
leave
true.
them out everywhere.
Yep. It's just like the weeds too. I'm so glad they decided not to dock us for weeds
Yeah.
because I love them.
Mm-hmm. Me too. All right. Kekalu says, definitely Halloween. I am really, really hoping for pumpkin decorations that let us put custom patterns on them. Ooh, I want to carve my own. I'd probably temporarily get rid of all my other patterns just to have a ton of different pumpkin faces. Oh, that would be so much fun.
And adorable. I love it.
Yes. Oh, and then you could spell things out with your pumpkins too.
Hmm.
That'd be awesome.
I'm all about it. I
Mhm.
love it.
Mhm.
All right, the next answer is from Trevi Boo, and they said, I would normally say Halloween, but for some reason, I have a feeling that the Harvest Festival for the day Franklin shows up will be a lot of fun
Ooh.
or introduce a new mechanic to the holiday that we've seen in previous games. Either way, this next chunk of the year is going to bring all the exciting holidays to the game, so I'm happy to jump back into the game more.
Mm.
And I want to say, like, I don't know. I think this is the Animal Crossing game that we get cooking, you know? And if that's the case, I'm pretty sure Halloween is going to be so, or not Halloween, the
The
Harvest is going
harvest.
to be so interactive, you know?
Yes.
Mhm.
Which it
Yeah,
already
just being
feels like it was more interactive in New Leaf.
Yeah, it really does. Like we collected all these the little bags of like flour and all the
Yes.
little
Like there's
ingredients that we could
oil and
get.
vinegar. It was
Yeah,
so
I
cute.
loved them.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping that we do get like cooking and because there's not a lot of food items in this game right
Right.
now, and they were something that we used to get quite a bit of. So
Hmm.
I think this is a good way to introduce them back. Like it works the same as crafting, just with food, you know?
I can't
Mm.
wait.
Nice. So M said, New Year's Eve. It's been a whole day since the last fireworks of summer, and I miss them already. I also love New Year's Eve in real life, but celebrating with my friends is probably not going to be possible, so it will be nice to celebrate in game to make up for it.
Hmm.
Yes, that's a very good point. That's gonna be great.
Hmm. I
Yeah, and I love that they mentioned New Year's Eve too, because I was like, oh man, that's totally a thing that's coming
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
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 I am so like I am not a in real life New Year's Eve person. I don't like going out, and it's a fireworks holiday, which means my dog freaks out, so I stay home with him.
Mm.
So New Year's Eve is an Animal Crossing holiday for me, which is so much fun. So I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
So the next one is Israel Sanchez, who says Christmas or Toy Day. It's my favorite holiday in real life and in Animal Crossing. I'm really looking forward to seeing all the festive changes that happen to my island. From the snow capped trees to the little wreaths my islanders are going to put up, I can't wait to soak it all in. Yes, I'm so excited. I mean, again, like we said with the summer update, the wreaths are so cute. So I'm very excited to throw some up on my villager houses too.
Yeah, and I can't tell you, like, I pretty consistently think of that first trailer we got for Animal Crossing and that one little scene of winter that we had,
With
and
Eunice.
yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
so cute. And I'm just like, yep, I need to live in this place already. Like a winter
Mm-hmm.
wonderland in Animal Crossing is great. So
Mm-hmm. Ready.
my island is ready for it. We need some snow here. Yeah. So our last answer is from Donnie, and they said, I'm excited for all of them. I love this time of year, autumn/winter, and I'm so excited for both Halloween and Christmas in Animal Crossing. Being my first Animal Crossing game as well, I'm looking forward to other holidays like Thanksgiving. I'm British, so I've never celebrated it, but I wish we did because there's so much to be thankful for. So I'm hoping to get to celebrate it in Animal Crossing
Mm.
instead. And I mean, yeah, I feel like this just captures it. Like every upcoming thing is going to be so good. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited for especially people like Donnie who this is their first Animal Crossing game, and I want them to be able to experience like how great the holiday times are for this, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, and it makes me
Yeah.
glad to hear that even if people from other countries aren't used to having holidays like Thanksgiving or Harvest Festival at that time, that they're still kind of embracing that holiday from another culture and having fun with it.
Yeah, that's true too. I really like that people are getting to experience that, especially like, oh, I'm just remembering too, tomorrow we can look forward to probably some new things to order from the Nook shopping app. So
Ooh,
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
probably get the new seasonal items. If you haven't gotten the little rodeo style springy ride on, this is your last chance. There are also some pretty cute outfits to get. But I mean, now that you're all listening, it's gone.
Oh
You'll have to wait till
no.
next year. Probably should have made a warning for that. Sorry, everyone.
Oh
But
well.
here's your warning for the next one.
Yeah.
There's going to be a new seasonal item to order. So,
Oh, and Mom will
um,
be sending us something too.
Mom, her stuff is so cute. It is just so cute. I cannot wait.
Our
Um,
collective mother.
yes, everyone's mom.
This past one, the little pencil holder was adorable.
It was. I reworked one of my rooms and specifically put that item in it. So I'm excited. I don't think either of you have seen it yet.
I can't wait to see your town. You've been teasing
Yeah.
it through this entire episode.
I've done a lot. It's something else now. I mean, it's not Sergio level at all,
Oh,
but it's
No one's
a
ever is on
million times
Sergio's
better than
level.
yeah, it's a million times better than where it was. So yeah, I think you'll appreciate it not being as empty as before.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. Don't want the episode to end? Well, you can keep the conversation going by Nintendo switching over to our Discord. Just follow the link in the description, and you can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio, Nina, and me. Want to support the show in a bigger way and get your voice heard during the show? Visit patreon.com/ChuiPlaysNintendo. You can support our show with just $1, get special access to a secret room on Discord, join in on the Haken Islander Corner, and even read a monthly newsletter covering all things Haken and Chuy Plays. And this last month's newsletter included a link to the official merch store for Chuy Plays. So if you check that out, you can find a cool Haken t-shirt and stuff. I mean, I'm going to share it with everybody pretty soon, but I forgot to thus far. So be on the lookout for that link. It'll be available for everybody. But, you know, if you are a patron, there's a special discount code. So there's that. Anyways, if you tuned in on YouTube, the comments are a great place to let us know your answers to the Haken Islander Corner. What upcoming holiday are you most looking forward to? If you dig what you hear, please KK slide over to that review section on your platform of choice. Let people know what they're missing out on. Haken is a Wild production brought to you by Chuy, Sergio, Nina, and to all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you all next time.